Well, there is concern, as you mentioned, about fumes from that oil depot coming to the capital city, but so far we haven't seen any evidence of that. It's about 40 kilometers south of here. I guess it depends on which way the wind's blowing, and so far Kyiv seems to be safe from that. But the general situation, as over the last 24 hours, is tense. We, like anybody else, are not allowed out on the streets. There's a curfew imposed till tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Everybody's been told that if you go out on the street, you're liable to be shot by the Ukrainian armed forces because they're on the lookout for Russians operating underground in the capital city, trying to destroy points and gather information about the position of Ukrainian forces, which is why you see me now in the courtyard of a hotel in the Ukrainian capital. Overall, the situation seems to be developing slowly as regards the fighting. Very difficult, it has to be said, for us to give a clear picture of what is happening across the country because there's not an awful lot of information. But what the Ukrainian Defense Ministry is saying is that they have halted the advance of the Russians pretty much everywhere, although the Russians do seem to have made some advances in the south around a small city of Melitopol, and towards Mariupol, the major port city in the south on the Sea of Azov, but they haven't taken it yet, according to all accounts. The Ukrainians claim to have shot down 27 Russian aircraft, 26 helicopters, destroyed 148 tanks and some 700 plus armored vehicles. Plus, they've taken a lot of prisoners as well. Over 200 Russian prisoners have been shown on videos saying that the reason they thought they were coming to Ukraine was because they were taking part in a training exercise. How accurate these figures are, we can't really say, but that at least is what the Ukrainians are saying at the moment. And given the fact that they do have air-to-air missiles plus ground-to-air missiles, Stingers that have been supplied by the West, it's not improbable that those figures could be approximate to the truth.
Yeah, and Rob, as you're speaking to us, coming in on the wires is a message from Vitaly Klitschko, the Kyiv mayor, who says that since the invasion began, 9 civilians have been lost or killed in the capital, including one child. Rob, the war is worsening, but amid it, we're seeing this resistance, this remarkable civilian resistance take shape, and even the defense ministry offering it guidance about how to fight Russian forces.
Yeah, I mean, the response has been enormous across the country. Here in Kyiv, we've seen some evidence of it, people joining territorial defense units, others being called up to serve in the reservists. But in small towns across the country too, there are people who have been joining up, there have been queues, there have been people digging trenches, building fortifications, collecting arms, preparing food to help the soldiers, that sort of thing. This seems to be a genuinely national effort to repel the Russian invasion. A surprise, I think, for Vladimir Putin, who surrounds himself with very few people, and those that are around him tell him pretty much what he wants to hear. One has to wonder whether the information he has been getting from his advisors and close ministers is close to the truth or accurate at all. Would he have considered launching this invasion if he had suspected that the resistance would be as strong as this? It's a question we can't answer, but on the evidence of the lack of progress of the Russian forces, one has to doubt that the Russian high command, and including President Putin, suspected that the resistance would be this strong.